I would not be surprised if some of you guys from up in the northern regions of the United States or Canada or up around Alaska where it's really cold, I wouldn't be surprised if y'all weren't making fun of us in the South right now. It is beautiful out here, but the pathway to Phillips Hot Rod Garage should not look like this. Whoa, slippery out here. Look at that. See where my foot slid? Yeah, y'all people up north, y'all can keep this stuff. We're just not used to this down here in South Alabama. And the sun reflecting off the snow is ridiculous. Oh, I almost slipped and fell. I'm too old to be falling down in this mess. Yeah, we're just not used to it. So let me show you guys what I just sold, then I'll show you guys what I just bought. Well, you know us old car guys, we never want to sell anything. But there comes a time when sometimes you just have to let them go. And I decided I wanted to buy that Roadster we went and looked at in the last video, so I just sold the Roadster pickup. So the old Roadster pickup had to go. You know guys, there wasn't much to it, but it could have been put together into like a little rough little rat rod or something, but I'm not real big into rat rods, but I think that's what it's going to end up being. The guy that bought it, he's got a better bed than this to go on it, and a few odd and end other pieces for it, and he's just going to probably make a little square tubing framework to go inside the body, and then put some kind of probably a flathead in it. He likes old flatheads, and he'll put the thing back together and make something out of it. So I got rid of this, got the money and used it to buy the other Roadster with, so let's go check it out. Well, there it is, but I didn't get enough out of the pickup to buy this, so I definitely had to rob my piggy bank to bring this thing home. So let's get a little heat on here and we will talk about it. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys some up close shots of the car. But before I do, I wanna say this, guys, you can't be real picky about the way you find these cars. I mean, when you find another car out in the wild, or you find a barn find car or whatever it is, you can't really be picky about the condition because you weren't the one in charge of making sure that car stayed nice. It was in somebody else's possession. So people often don't do what's right for these cars. I heard this car came from New Orleans, that's what I was told, and that the car had sat under a barn until a hurricane came through. They didn't say which hurricane it was, but after the hurricane came through many years ago, it blew the barn down and left the car outside exposed to the elements. Well, the car is not quite 100 years old, but it's getting close to it, and it has no roof on it, with it being a Roadster. So you know what happens to an open top car when it sits outside? I mean, I've got a 1986 Mustang GT sitting back behind my shop that has no floor pans in it. And it's an 86. It's a convertible. No floor pans. Convertibles are gonna rust away. That's just what they do. So to find one in this good a condition, you can say, man, that car is rough, I wouldn't have bought it. But let me just tell you the backstory of how I got the car. I had a 32 Chevrolet Coupe that you guys saw on the channel before, and I bought two Model A's. I did a little video on those where I went on the adventure and bought them, and one of them was the 28 Roadster pickup that you guys just saw, and a 28-29 two-door sedan that I sold back during the summer. Now, people told me that they wouldn't have bought any of those three. They were all very, very rough. But when it comes to buying these cars, if you find one for $500 and it's worth $500, buy it. If you find it for $5,000 and it's worth $5,000, buy it. If you find it for $10,000 and it's worth $10,000, buy it. It doesn't matter, you know, what you pay or what condition it's in, as long as the condition and the price match. If the price is justified by the condition, then buy it. You can always trade it, you can sell it, make a profit, or you can keep it and build it. Do whatever you want to do. There's always options. But people told me on those other three pieces, they said, I wouldn't have bought those at all. But I sold the 28 Roadster pickup. I sold the 28-29 sedan during the summer. And at the swap meet, I sold the 32 coupe, the Chevrolet coupe. Those three pieces got me enough money to get my money back and to pay for this car. So that was the piggy bank. The piggy bank was money that I had already put in there, profit from these cars, and I was able to use that money to get this one. So, hey, doesn't matter the condition. This thing's not eating any grass, not costing me anything, and it's worth what I paid. So, yeah, you're going to see some rust in there. I'm going to show you some pretty serious rust, some pretty serious issues, but it doesn't matter. And I don't even know what I'm going to do with it yet. I might trade it off. I might sell it. I might keep and build it. I don't know. Let me go ahead and show it to you, and then we'll talk about that stuff later. All right, so one good thing is it holds air in all four tires. That's one good thing. But as you can see on the outside here, the fenders are all on the car, but they are a little bit rough. A little bit rough. The running board here is completely gone. Well, not completely, but you get the idea. It's pretty rough. Splash apron there is definitely rusty. The front fender here is also pretty rusty. The spare tire well here is about halfway gone, and what's left is not much good. But hey, the spare tire mount is still in good shape. That's pretty good. All right, so some good stuff about the car. You know, it's complete. That's what I like about it. And the radiator is actually pretty nice on this thing. I mean, when's the last time you found one out in the wild that had a radiator that nice? Core's not all beat up, or the fins are not bent a whole lot. It's actually pretty nice. Got the dove still on the radiator. And the old headlights are still on it and in pretty good shape. They are pretty nice. The Ooga horn works. You guys heard that in the last video. But as you can see, it's all there. The suspension, it doesn't look really bad at all. It's hard to see up under there with no light, but it's all together. Looks pretty good. And the engine, I'm not going to take the hood off and show you because the engine's got a busted head on it, so there's no reason to look at that. I got both spares with it. It does have a spare on both fenders. Got the cowl lights on both sides with the lenses. Windshield frame, that's important on a Roadster, but it's still on there and in good shape. Can definitely be used, but would need to be re-chromed for sure. The doors both open and close, so the hinges on both sides are in pretty good shape. That's surprising. And surprisingly down here, it's not real rusty down in there. So that really surprised me. I don't know, maybe the sub rails on the front on both sides might be able to be saved on this thing right there on the very front. But now as you start getting back into this area down in here, the sub rails are definitely gone. And that can definitely be expected on a Roadster. So this part here is pretty good. But of course that is replaced as you replace your sub rails. That gets replaced anyway. Bottom of the doors, yeah, a little bit rusty, but you know, that can be expected on a Roadster. The doors are definitely buildable. Definitely buildable. Battery cable's in the way. Body sagging some. No big deal. All that will be taken care of when the sub rails are fixed. As these sub rails rust out, it lets the body sag, and that's what makes the doors not open and close good. But as you can see along the bottom of the door, it's pretty good. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Bottom of the quarter's not bad. But now I do see some body filler in here, so I don't know. Maybe sometime in the past it could have had these panels replaced years ago, and it may be full of body filler. I don't know. You won't know till you tear the car apart. That's the thing about one of these old cars. Until you strip it to bare metal, you really don't know what you have. So we got a luggage rack still on the back. It does have the rumble seat springs in the back, but the floor pan is gone, of course. It's gone. The rumble lid is definitely rusty. It's seen better days. Needs some serious attention on it. This panel would probably need to be replaced. That's common on these cars, but it's got a lot of filler on it. I just broke a piece off there. Trying to get a good piece for you to see. Yeah, it's hard to see. Yeah. Kind of thick with filler and paint all over the car, but you know that metal might be good under there though, see? Just won't know till you tear it down. Last tagged in '72 in Louisiana. They said that was the last time that they knew of it running. So back here, it came with an engine here that actually runs. I've got a video of this thing running, and I'll see if I can find it. I might insert it here in the video. Then I've got this transmission that came with the car. The transmission that's in it now won't let the car roll. It's like hanging up in gear or something. Something's not right with it. But I got a back window with it. That's the only part left of the top other than those top irons. And I think it has most of the irons there. Of course, all the wood's gone. But overall, I think it's a pretty good car for a complete builder. It's definitely going to have a complete build done on it. Not bad down low, with all things considered. Well, there we go. I got it open. I was about to think it wasn't going to open. There's those rumble seat springs. Now the frame looks pretty rusty on it, right here. Yep. The frame is definitely in pretty foul shape, but I just so happen to have a good frame. So frames of these cars in good shape are fairly easy to find in my area. So I'll probably just dig up another frame for it. If the one that I have is not good, then I'll dig up another one somewhere. But that's pretty much all I can really say about it. It is what it is. This piece of chrome right here is pretty good on this side, but the other side it's completely missing. And that's really all I know of that's missing from the car. It looks pretty good to me. I think it'll be a solid builder. Now, here's kind of my plan. So this car is a clean slate. Of course, just like any other car, there's a lot you can do with it. So judging the car by its condition, it's probably going to be best just to build a fenderless hot rod out of it, because nobody in their right mind would try to restore this car back original. And I know a lot of Model A purists will be like, yeah, restore it, restore it. If you want to restore Model A, there's a whole lot better candidates out there to restore than this one. And there's a whole lot of restored cars that you can buy at reasonable prices. So this car, you would spend double what you can buy one already done for. So the car is really not the right car to do a complete restoration on. So a fenderless hot rod is probably the best way to go. Now, the reason I say fenderless is because the fenders and the running board are in such bad shape. So probably one of the first things that I'll do on this car is go ahead and get the fenders and the running boards off the car and get them out of the way, do something with them, because there's not a single one of them that's much worth using. Now, the back ones might be able to be saved, but most people building cars with full fenders and building nice cars are not going to want fenders this rough. So I have sold some at swap meets that were pretty rough, but most people that have fenders this rough are just going to build a fenderless car. I mean, that's just the way it is in 2025. That's how we do things. So I'll probably get rid of the fenders, and that's what I would do. Now, if you get rid of the fenders, it leaves you a couple options. Since the floor is completely gone in the car, and since the car needs sub rails in it, that leaves you open to doing a channeled car. That would make it a whole lot less expensive to build, because you could put together a floor and put all your substructure together for a channel car. You would fabricate that yourself, and you wouldn't have to buy new sub rails. So that would be a neat way to do it. And then if you did it that way, you could put it back on an original frame. And you could even, when you go back on an original frame, you could even build a little AV8. I've got a 39 or 40 flathead that's a running engine, and I've got a 39 transmission that needs rebuilt, but I can handle that. And then I've got a 39 or 40 rear, so I could put that under here and put some 35 wires on it, or some 40 through 48, somewhere in that era, steel wheels with the hubcaps and the rings. That would look good too. Of course, you could build a modern street rod out of it, but I think the car is probably not the right car to do that with. But you could build a neat little, either pre-war, post-war, either way, little hot rod with it, and that would work out pretty good. Other than that, I mean, you could actually do a 32 frame under the car. And the neat thing about it is, with a 32 frame, you'd have to build your own sub rails for the rear anyway, so that kind of still leaves you open and not have to buy a set of sub rails to go in it. Build your own floor pan. There's just all kind of different things you can do, but hey, there's no reason to put the stock little 4-cylinder back in there. I was going to stick it in there when I first got the car until I started looking it over and seeing the condition of the frame. I thought about putting that 4-cylinder in here, get it running, tinker with it a little bit, but it's not going to work out. The frame is just too rough. So if I'm going to pull the body off the frame, change the frame, I'm probably not going to go back with the original 4-cylinder. I just don't see any reason for doing that. So most likely, I'll just end up selling that original 4-cylinder transmission and just get rid of that stuff and just keep the body around. I'm not going to start on it anytime soon, because the coupe's got to get done. That's definitely my main project. But hey, this car is worth keeping. It's worth sticking back and hanging on to for a while, because it's worth fixing. So that's why I got it. I just wanted to share it with you guys and see what you guys thought about it. So leave me some comments. Let me know what you think about this car. And I'd love to talk with you. Tell me what you would do with the car. And check me out on Facebook. Go look me up at Phillips Hot Rod Garage on Facebook. Check me out on there, and I like to have conversations on there, or we can chat right here in the comment section right here on YouTube. Either way you want to do it, just leave me a comment, leave me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, leave a thumbs down. I don't care. YouTube's still going to give me credit for a thumbs up or down, because they just like it when you interact with the videos. So leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and I appreciate it. And of course, the first thing you want to do when you get a Roadster is let the top down on it. Well, there we go. See if I can get around this thing without falling. And then, once you get the top down, you want to take it for a spin. Oh yeah, I can definitely see myself riding this with my lady, for sure. Definitely. Okay, that's just what I expected to find. Let me show you what it looks like inside here. I'm gonna have to get all this stuff cleaned out to really know, but as you can see, all the gutters are actually still here. Just don't know if they're any good or not. They feel pretty good from under the bottom. Don't feel any holes. So that may be pretty good. But the wheel wells, they've been replaced before. You can see where somebody cut them out and replaced them, and they've been replaced for so long that the new wheel wells are already rusted. Wow, if these cars could tell their story, man. You can see the hinges work pretty good. That's good. There's some of that rear curve panel still in there. It's not completely gone. But the sub rails are definitely gone. On both sides. They're definitely gone. So, there you go. There you go. It might be rough, but I love it. So I guess we're just gonna go build a snowman and enjoy the once in a lifetime snowstorm we just had. So see you guys in the next one.